Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Just Supreme checking in with you. Appreciate you stopping by and checking out the video. Today I got a banger for you guys. It came from my Twitch live stream. Go over to my Twitch and follow me if you haven't already. Also, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. We will be having more videos coming to the channel soon, so go ahead and follow if you haven't, so that way you can stay up to date with all my videos. Turn on the post notifications. My social media and my Twitch will be linked down below, so go ahead and take a look at those. For today though, we have a banger of a video. We'll be discussing 3 reasons why my previous clothing brands failed. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all boys in the next one. Yes sir. YouTube, what's good? What's good? Welcome back to another video. If you haven't already, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I also be streaming on Twitch, so if you are new to the channel, follow me on YouTube as well as follow my Twitch. Follow my Twitch, and we get lit over here. We not only do we discuss fashion, but we also showcase some of our product or my products, as well as also getting into the nitty-gritty of it, right? We show some of my products. We also get into a whole bunch of other stuff, a lot of things related to fashion. We also review brands and stuff like that. I couldn't even think of the name, but nonetheless, let's get into it. So, but yeah, the reason why I'm making this video is because this is 3 reasons why I know my clothing brand will not flop, right? And the reason why I say not flop, well, Eli, why'd you say not flop? Because in the beginning of this Twitch stream, I had said it was going to flop, but I don't believe it's going to flop. You want to know why? We're about to get into it, right? So if you guys didn't know, a little lore behind myself, I had 2 clothing brands before I started this one. The first one basically ended because I had a partner and it felt like the brand wasn't moving as far as it should have moved with both of us, and I felt like it was better for me to just separate myself from that brand and do my own thing. I think that was the best course of action for me, so that's what I ended up doing. So I started a new brand. So the first brand was called Titans Playground. That was the first brand. The second brand was called True Vision. So I called my brand True Vision. It's called TrueVZN, not just True Vision, like spell out vision all the way. True VZN. That was my brand apparel. And that brand went a lot farther than the other brand, right? I did a lot of stuff. I did everything myself. Did everything. I did the designing myself. I did the marketing myself. I did a whole bunch of stuff myself. But ultimately, there was some highs, there was some lows, but ultimately it did flop. And we're gonna get into why I believe that it flopped, right? Let's just get straight into it. The first reason why my brands failed in the past was because, if we're being honest, the designs were buns. They weren't good. The designs were not good in any, I don't want to say in any sort of way. I think I really prioritize minimalistic designs. But for the most part, I was designing everything myself. And I think that's where the problem was, right? I'm not the savviest person when it comes down to making designs, right? I made a lot of the designs myself, and I thought they were still fine. Don't get me wrong. I think the design concept's very heavy. That's the thing with the brand. It was very centered around the logo. And I wanted quality designs. I wanted different things, right? But that's just what it was. For the most part, I had the brand for, let's say, about 3 years. In that span of 2-3 years, I'm pretty sure I only invested into designs a handful of times, and it was less than 5. I'll tell you that, because I only dropped maybe 3 to 5 designs that weren't made by me. Yeah, I didn't reach out a lot to reach out to designers, because honestly I thought I could do it myself, but I realized that wasn't gonna make money. That wasn't gonna really motivate people to gravitate towards the brand. Now, I had friends and family support the brand, but honestly it's not a family business. It's like, that's not what business is. If you're trying to expand and grow your business, you need to look outside. You need to look outside of just your immediate friend group, immediate family, right? That's not what's gonna put money in your pockets. Your friends and family, they're gonna support whenever they want to, but they're not gonna support all the time. You feel me? You know who else is gonna support all the time? Strangers. That's what I had to realize, right? That's what I realized. For real. Strangers is what's gonna support you for the long time. It may not be one consistent stranger, but it's gonna be strangers altogether. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying friends and family are not gonna be there to support you all the time, but they're not the ones that you want buying your stuff all the time. They're not gonna make you money. They're not gonna make you lasting money you feel me? If you want lasting money, you're making these moves, you're making these designs, you're making this product. You're not making it for them specifically, unless you are. But that's not how you start a business. Everyone knows that if you have a business, you're marketing to everybody outside of your immediate group. So that's what you need to get behind in your mind. That's what you need to understand. Because if you don't understand that, you're not going to get anywhere, right? And that's one of the lessons that I learned, right? That's one of the lessons I definitely learned having my brand. And luckily, I did learn that midway through the brand, because I couldn't expect everyone to keep supporting me over and over and over, like the same 3 people, the same 4 people, over and over and over. Legitimately, honestly, with this new brand, I don't expect anybody to support my brand. If you're my friends and you guys buy from me, I 100% appreciate your efforts. But at the end of the day, if we're being realistic, a business is not like when you go to a business, an establishment, and you buy something from me, 9.5 times out of 10, they do not know you. They don't. Right? Especially if it's your first time walking in, they don't know who you are, but you're going to help make them money. You're going to help make them have a system and a foundation. You're going to help them. Maybe you might be that one sale that brought them to their goal for that month, right? Sometimes family and friends are not going to be there to do that for you. You have to get it out of your mind that friends and family is not going to be the ones to support you all in all, right? But overall, I believe that my designs were buns. They weren't not the best that they could have been. And I understood that. I understood that at the time, and I understood that at the end of my clothing brand career, because at the end of it, near the end, that's when I started incorporating designers into my design schemes. And I had a few designs that was ready. I had some designs ready that was going to be some fire, but it just didn't pan out that way. It didn't pan out that way, unfortunately. But we're back. We're round 2. We're going to start it up. I said round 2, round 3. Third time's the charm, they say. Third time's the charm. So we're going to run it back, and the brand's going to go farther. We have designers. We have people that's going to help the brand succeed, right? I have the vision, but best believe I have people to help me, help support the movement, help support the experiment, if you guys understand what I'm saying. So that was point 1. Point 2. The point 2 on why my previous clothing brands failed was that there was no clear marketing direction, right? So I didn't have anything concrete. I would go into a photo shoot. I would just take pictures. Oh, this pose looked good. Oh, this position looks good. This location looked good, right? Not only that, and I mean, most of the time, that's kind of what like the whole thing is. But nowadays, we've moved past that. You kind of have to like show a direction, right? Where you're heading with this. What's the meaning behind your products? If you don't market the meaning behind the product, or even if you don't market, if you don't market certain things, you're not going to get far with your clothing brand. And you need to understand that. Now that's not the situation all the time, but you have to understand on the back end. You got to understand on the back end, for the most part, you're going to have that meaning. You're going to have some type of vision that you want to take this product in. But for the most part, not only that, I didn't know who I was marketing to. I didn't know who I was marketing. I would go, the second I posted that thing, I would go on Instagram and say, boost post. And it said, oh, who do you want to market to? Most of the time, I don't say most of the time, but a good majority of the time, legitimately, I would just put everybody in the US. That's not going to get you no sales. Exactly. I didn't know who my demographic was. I did maybe 18 to 35, in terms of age, maybe even up to like 40 something, but it was like 18 to 35 was like the ideal range I was looking for. People that liked hip hop, streetwear, fashion, just stuff like that. I didn't know who I was marketing to. Another thing is that I also was not paying attention to what worked, right? I would get some sales from some unknown people from time to time, and I'd be like, oh, that's great. Or so I was just like, dang, this is great, but I didn't pay attention. Oh, did this work specifically? I didn't experiment enough. And that's the whole point of this brand, right? Is to experiment. But going back to it, I didn't experiment enough. I didn't see who mess with this post or not. I was getting views, but I wasn't getting what I wanted. I wanted to bring traffic to my store, right? Actually, not even. I wanted to get sales. Everybody wants to get sales, but you have to know the method to getting sales. Sometimes you just want to get people to come to the site. You feel me? So when you're in a pattern of just trying to figure out your branding and everything like that, you want to be able to get certain things down. But I didn't get those things down. I didn't know what worked, so I couldn't map things out. I couldn't get things to work. You feel me? So that's the second reason why I feel like my old clothing brands did not work. They just had no clear directions. The designs were buns, and it wasn't working. I just didn't know what worked. I didn't know what worked, and I didn't know what did work. And let's get into the last point. The third and the final reason why I believe my clothing brands in the past did not work was I was mismanaging the money. The money I was getting in, right? I didn't spend it on the right things, right? I'll explain to you why I believe getting into certain things were such a waste of money in the early stages, right? Some of the things that I wasted my money on was packaging, hang tags, as well as cards and stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. Go ahead and do it if you want to. If you have the capital for it, by all means, I think you should probably invest in it. They probably appreciated it. Now, I think one thing for me not to misconstrue my words is that when I had these cards, right, that would be like, hey, I appreciate your purchase. Those were fine. Those are fine, right? But like you kind of bringing them back to the site. I mean, obviously you do, but it's like you want to make them feel comfortable, right? So one thing I did do was have, hey, I appreciate you guys buying from my brand. Here's an additional 10-15% off for your next purchase. Something like that. Something to get them to come back. That was my whole thing. But I also spent money on packaging, trying to fancy it up. Get special polyester bags for the brand. Now, it's cool in theory, and there's nothing wrong with getting those. But I think in the first early stages, when nobody really knows your brand, I don't think it's as important. I don't think it's heavily important. If you really have a community or you're starting to build a community, there's other little things that you can invest in that'll better help your brand grow rather than just focusing on packaging, right? Stuff like that. And then hang tags. I keep saying hang tags. Legitimately, that was probably one of my worst investments, honestly. Like legit getting that little thing that hangs off the shirt doesn't even have the price. Now, if I had a physical store, it'd be fine. They're not a physical store. I don't have a physical store, so why would it matter? Why would it matter? So that was little stuff I was wasting money on, and it wasn't advantageous to the brand. Another thing, right? Mismanaging money, right, wise, I was giving out too many discounts. And don't get me wrong, discounts are great. Everybody loves a discount, right? But I wasn't pricing my products properly. Let's break this down just a little bit, right? Let's break this down a little bit, guys. When it comes down to making clothes, and I'll be honest with you guys, it's especially nowadays, while I'm getting these samples, it's expensive. I'll tell you this right now, it is expensive, right? Let's say, I'll use this for example. I'm not going to tell you guys my exact numbers, but let's say a hoodie, I want to get 50 hoodies made. And I get 50 hoodies made, and I got them made for $25, right? I get them made, everything designed, everything, whatever, they get made for $25, right? I would then put it on my website for like $55, right? Now, you guys might think, hey, that might be a little pricey. It's out of my budget. Or some people might even just be like, I'm not gonna buy it, it's just too expensive, right? And it makes sense. That might be some hefty money to some people, but you gotta understand, I put it at a 2x. I'm only making I sell one hoodie, I'm technically making 2 hoodies off of it, right? But that's not the case, right? So not only that, I would be like, oh, new release would drop, new hoodie dropped, let's say $50, so it's $25 I'm making back. Well, don't forget I'm paying for marketing. Marketing don't pay for itself, and it costs money. depending on how well you are at it, it's going to cost you a good amount of bread for real. Not only that, so it costs money, so I'm paying for that. Not only that, shipping it to you guys, I would do free shipping sometimes I'd charge an extra $7 for shipping, but shipping is expensive depending on how much it weighs. And then another thing is that I was giving out regular discounts. I might give you 10-15% off, and then it might go down to it might be like a $45 hoodie plus those other expenses. There's no profit being made. Keep in mind, I wasn't selling out. So on top of me not selling every hoodie, on top of me having to market, spend money on ads, on top of me having to pay money to ship it out to you guys as well, depending if I give you free shipping or not, I'm not making a lot of money. If anything, I might be breaking even. And I'm not breaking even because I'm not selling the entire inventory. Keep that in mind. Keep in mind, and then I did pre-orders for sometimes too, but you got to realize these manufacturers that make the brand or make the clothes for you, they have a minimum order quantity. If they have a minimum order quantity, let's say I do a pre-order and I only get 10 sales, 10 hoodies ordered, but the minimum order quantity is like 25 pieces, 25 pieces, 50 pieces. I have to order the 50 pieces if those 10 people or those 10, whoever bought the hoodies or those 10 hoodies to be sold. So now I'm spending more money than I made to get the hoodies. So you see where the dilemma is, right? That's why I felt like I was mismanaging my money in terms of situations. So there was a lot of stuff I was wasting money on. There was a lot of stuff that I was over. Now, obviously, it's an investment. Sometimes it's an investment, right? That initial startup, but I'm 2-3 years in. It's no longer an investment. Now it's just taking money out of my pocket to put back into the brand, which is fine, which is absolutely fine, right? At the time, it was fine because, I'm a college student. I'm working at Walmart. I'm making bread. I'm making some bread. I ain't got no bills. I'm cooling. I'm chilling. I got a family now. I got bills. I got crazy bills. I can't allocate as much money as I once did. So if I'm gonna bring the brand back now, I'm not just gonna do it halfway. I'm gonna fully commit. I'm gonna make sure I got systems in place. Y'all, oh my God, I wish y'all could see on the back end how much work I'm actually putting into this brand. I wish y'all could see on the back end how much work I'm putting into this brand, because I'm putting in work. Legitimately, I'm putting in work. So yeah, guys, so those were the 3 reasons why I believe my previous clothing brands failed. And those reasons alone will not be the reason why my current clothing brand, Experiment 8, fails. If you haven't already, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe before you leave. I want to hear your thoughts about why you believe my clothing brand failed. Those are the 3 reasons why. If you guys want to go check it out, you can go. I still have my old brand pages posted. If you guys want to go check them out, go check them out. Let me know. I'll link them in the description below. And let me know why you think it failed, right? Let me know, maybe the visuals weren't on point. Maybe the marketing wasn't on point. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, let me know some more content you guys want me to see, on the channel. I have a lot more in store. The goal is to get about 2 to 3 videos out a month. I'm not gonna try to overwork myself and get a video out every week. I don't think that'll be possible out of me, but 2 to 3 videos a month for my channel would be great. But yeah, so I appreciate everyone that's joined up. I appreciate everyone that's rocked with the video so far. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all boys in the next one. Yes, sir.